Billionaire Michael Bloomberg was a late entrant to the Democratic primary, and he is polling 7% in a recent poll after spending reportedly around $100 million on advertising for his campaign. And this tells us many things. It tells us that you can buy your way into a campaign, but not necessarily past 1%. We'll talk about that. Bloomberg combining his money with at least some notoriety to buy his way all the way up to 7%. This tells us that at least in some sense, the idea of fighting Trump with a better billionaire is appealing to some people, 7% anyway. And it also confirms that when you were polling 1% to 2% for like a year during the campaign, you're probably not going anywhere. And so Delaney and Williamson, Bennett, Castro, Steyer, and Gabbard should probably drop out at this point in time. The newest Quinnipiac poll out yesterday has Biden at 30, Warren at 17, Sanders at 16, Buttigieg at 9, and Michael Bloomberg at 7%. In what is essentially a statistical tie for fourth place within the margin of error with Pete Buttigieg. Andrew Yang and Amy Klobuchar each with 3%, Cory Booker at 2%, Gabbard at 1%, Steyer at 1%, Castro at 1%. Now, another interesting thing about this is that even though you can buy your way in, not just anyone can do it, because Tom Steyer has also spent a ton of money, not nearly as much as Bloomberg, but he can't get past 1%. So to buy your way in, it can't just be money. It has to be money and something else. More questions now about whether Michael Bloomberg will ever have an opportunity to debate, because remember, he is not accepting individual contributions. Therefore, he cannot qualify based on the current rules that the DNC has established with growing donor thresholds as we get further and further into the primary debate period. And so there are now more and more questions about whether the DNC will or should change its rules. Now, I said before, if the DNC now says, hey, you know what, even though Michael Bloomberg doesn't have donors, at least in the formal sense that you need them in order to qualify for the debates, he's polling 7%. Let's figure out a way to get him into the debates because he's polling 7%. The other candidates would and should rightly go absolutely crazy. Now, if the DNC doesn't make any change, you will end up with a candidate that is effectively tied for fourth place within the margin of error with Pete Buttigieg, not in the debates. Both are wacky scenarios. Now, I've said before, I don't think we need another billionaire running. From a political analysis, from a logic analysis, having a candidate tied for fourth place who is not in the debates is strange. But these are the rules of the game. They have been established by the DNC. I've previously been critical that they weren't strict enough in getting some of the zeros and ones out of the debates early enough. And now, live by these rules, die by these rules, unless they say, hey, let's just change these rules to accommodate one particular person, which they may or may not do. The other question is, it's not really clear the DNC wants Michael Bloomberg in there. Michael Bloomberg's presence certainly has the risk of hurting Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, the establishment candidates, more than it has the potential to hurt Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren based on the numbers I've seen so far. If there are different numbers, by all means, send them to me. So it's not clear to me that the DNC, aside from the logic of if you're polling 7% tied for fourth place statistically, should you be in? Aside from that, it's not clear from a strategic perspective the DNC would even really want Michael Bloomberg in the debates. But with the latest poll, Quinnipiac, Michael Bloomberg already polling 7%. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. There's no catch whatsoever. But if you want, Privacy also offers a $10 a month plan that gives you 1% cash back and lets you create 36 credit cards a month, and a $25 a month plan tailored more for small businesses where you can create 60 card numbers a month and much more. But definitely go ahead and at least get started with the free plan. You'll protect your financial info. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pakman.